Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
If you shave your cooch, but not your booty hole, is that the same as a mullet?
My tongue out her ass and left. I'm on TV! Oh shit! First cops, now this? Oh.
morning, everyone. It's nice to see you. We are covering the case of Sebastian Rogers. He's been missing from his home since February 26, 2024. According to everything that we have learned about this case, Sebastian Rogers was last seen on February 25, 2024, while dining with his mother at a local steak restaurant known as the Texas Roadhouse. Allegedly, he left the Texas Roadhouse about 6:22 to 6:25 in the evening, and they proceeded their way home. We do have audio information confirming that Sebastian did in fact arrive to his house on Stafford Court the evening of Sunday, February 25th. Around 6 a.m. on February 26th, his mother allegedly awoke, went to go wake up her son, and found his bed empty. After looking around the home for several minutes, she ended up calling her husband, which was allegedly 3.5 hours away in Memphis, Tennessee, at what is dubbed the St. Jude's Project. Since then, the roads were filled up with a lot of law enforcement. A huge and massive search effort went underway to find Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. They ended up within 24 hours releasing an Amber Alert. We're learning a lot about these Amber Alert system and the strict criteria needed to get a person on the Amber Alert. So how is it Sebastian got on this Amber Alert without evidence of an abduction 24 hours after he was reported missing? These are a lot of questions that we have no answers to as we're working this case. What I can tell you is their statements have changed wildly. Here are a few examples of the wild changes.
Was his asked, would he be able to ride a city bus?
Nothing is off the table as far as abilities. Could the young man get on a bus? I'm sure he could.
We've never done it before.
We've never rode a city bus, so I don't think he understands the process. He doesn't have any sense of money. He may have, like, let's say a $20 bill in his hand, but he doesn't truly understand what $20 would get him.
He's good
Right.
at it, but he doesn't
I understand.
Time and money.
It seems awfully funny that, he just can't seem to take care of himself. He doesn't really know much. But when we hear his father talk about him, Seth Rogers, he describes his son more capable than we've ever heard. He says his son is so capable, he goes fishing, he can shoot a gun. There's a lot of stuff that Sebastian does that, from the information we had from the mom and stepfather, we wouldn't believe. And just recently, after the 1-year milestone of this young man being missing, the mom and stepdad come out and say there was a misunderstanding about their son and his capabilities. That's kind of odd. Let's listen to that.
With his autism, is there anything else that we should add that you want the public to know right now?
I would say that he is what they would consider high functioning. He's not, he doesn't struggle with verbal communication, but he does, he does struggle sometimes with expressing himself is, I guess, the best way that I could put that. But he's so smart and he's so capable, and that I think the initial image of him that was portrayed was misleading to an extent.
Yes, very much misleading to an extent. They're the ones that were feeding the public the information about their son. So why were they being so dubious in explaining the capabilities he had early on? They treated him or put him into the minds of the people looking for him that he had an infant's mind. And that is completely untrue. We're going to be diving into this and more today on the Bullhorn Betty channel.
I struggle to put words to how it feels, honestly. the amount of ups and downs, the amount of like possible leads that haven't panned out. I miss him so much. So at this point, it's keep searching. People keep looking. Keep searching, keep looking. We keep putting up new flyers. I know a lot of places, they take them down after so long. We just keep going back and putting more up. I refer to my original request just to anyone that's willing. Don't let him become forgotten. Don't let him become lost in the next story. Not to supersede other children, because they all deserve just as much, if not more, attention, because all children do. But I would say just please don't let him become forgotten and lost, because we're never gonna stop. We're never gonna let that happen if we can help it.
And I hope you stick around to learn a little more about these mysterious statements from the mom and stepdad and the recanting thereof. God bless. We are running live today. Thank you guys for being patient with me. We know that this week kind of got screwed up. It was kind of my own doing. But, you know, I kind of thought I had a good argument. Apparently I didn't. And we had to have an emergency flight out. So we did what we needed to do. We got the job done. I come, and of course, I know who this is from. It's from my stalker. My lovely stalker, Betty fan. Thank you. We even got some pixie sour dip. I looked at this. I'm like, you know, because I come in. My neighbor brings in my mail, so I come in. I see all these boxes everywhere. I will be honest with you. I bought some dresses. And, you know, I was going to take some up there. I don't know. You know, I like some things, you know, but when you order them online, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to get into a tangent, but I forgot what I ordered, and I seen these boxes come in, and I'm like, you know, I opened this one. It has the candy, and I'm like, did I order this? I just don't remember ordering this. Did I order this? You know, I am on TikTok. I do order some stuff on TikTok. I get this? You know, the reason why I'm saying TikTok is this one right here says TikTok viral crystal candy. TikTok viral crystal candy. So I'm like, did I break down and buy some candy? So I'm sitting here rocking my brain. And I'm like, I just don't see me spending money on this. It's because we have a lot of, you know, trips coming up. It's not that I wouldn't spend money on this. It's just here lately, I don't have the extra money to spend on candy, okay? So I'm rocking my brain. I'm like, you know, I just don't see me budgeting this in the budget. You know, I'm arguing with myself. And I'm like, just, it's a TikTok. I'm like, I don't have nothing. How would anybody know to send me something on TikTok? Like, I don't know, right? I had to have done it. So I reach in there, and there it is. Betty fan is yet again the culprit. I'm just saying. She's sneaky, y'all. You gotta watch her. She's sneaky. She's really sneaky. Hey, Sasha, it's nice to see you. Rod, it's nice to see you. JH, Joe Poodles. Hey, guys, I hope you guys saw. I was kind of telling you guys hi when we were coming in. All right, let's get the small talk out of the way. Let me thank everybody. Thank you all for being here. Robin says, hello, beautiful Betty. Gorgeous mods, an amazing chat. Oh, I like that. She follows it by, everyone hit the button. Hope no one here in chat has a mullet. Hairy ass. Oh, I'm gonna add to that. Or wears the wifey poos, cheeky panties. The cheekies. Lisa K says, autistic person. We would be so fortunate for Delilah to be the guest. No, Delilah's not the guest, but we will call her when we start winding down the show at the end so she can say hi to everybody. She missed her mommy. I can tell you that. I missed her. I didn't sleep last night. I don't know if it's because I ordered the stupid room service. My mom wanted me to eat. I was not leaving the hotel last night. So she's like, please just order some room service. Just get something in your belly, right? So I'm like, I argue with myself, just order the damn room service, okay? Just order the damn room service. So I get on the phone. I ordered chicken parmesan. Not thinking about this, right? It's going to take an hour to get to my room. So by the time it gets there, it's like 7:30, 8 o'clock their time, which would have been 9 o'clock my time here in Florida. And so if you don't know anything about sauce typically has some type of sugar in it, okay? Tomatoes are very acidic-y to help tamper some of the acid down. That's why some people, you eat the red sauce and you have heartburn out the wazoo. And sometimes you eat the red sauce and nothing happens. It's probably because the person where nothing happened probably added a lot of sugar into that sauce to help with that acid. So I wasn't thinking about that. And of course I order a Diet Coke. They forgot the Diet Coke. So I went down to the lobby and bought me, a Coke Zero that has caffeine in it. So at about 8:30 at night, I'm eating a full 2-course meal, salad and chicken parmesan, and having a soda. So, after a very stressful day in the hot seat, doing a deposition, I get back to the room and this stupid freaking brain wouldn't shut off. I wasn't even thinking about the deposition. Now I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking about the stuff that needs to happen at the house. I need to get all the paperwork that needs to be done, all the preparation that needs to be done, just blah, 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 blah. The brain wouldn't shut off. So I roll over, I'm getting frustrated, and I'm like, should I just go to the blessed airport at this point? Because I'm starting to think I should just go to the blessed airport. And I get to the, I look at the time, it's 3:30, and I'm like, am I really wanting to sit there for 5 hours? I mean, I'd rather lay in bed wide awake than sit in a hard chair for 5 hours. So I convinced myself. Then I absolutely fall asleep, wouldn't you know, at like 3:30 in the morning, having to get up at 4:30 in the morning. I missed the alarm. Of course I did. And luckily, I was up by 5:30, which is 6:30 my time. So I wouldn't have slept past that anyways, because that's my internal clock. And I made it to the airport. I didn't have a delay. Thank God. Everything went without a hitch. Of course, I was getting a little nervous, Chicago airport. But what I love about it is that they drove me right to my my gate, basically. I just had to walk out, walk in, and go through processing. I'm like, okay, well, this is easy. I'll do that again. So everything was good, but I couldn't sleep. So then I come, I'm exhausted. I try to close my eyes on the plane, which usually I have no problem sleeping on a blessed plane. You think I get to sleep? Nope. So then I go over to my BFFs. She had Delilah, and I thought, you know what, Laura, I told her, what happened. I haven't really slept well last night. I'm probably, going to just crash there. Guess what? Lay down. Did I go to sleep? No. Then I come home. I leave her house early so I can come home, take a nap, so I could be nice and prepared for this show. Do you think I slept? The answer's no. I didn't. Sleep. But. I'm like, we postponed it last night. I'm a trooper. Okay? And I'm like, you know what? We got this. So I reached out to my special guest. I said, hey, I know I'm a little behind. This is what we're going to do. We okay? Can we go? They're like, yes, we love to talk about Sebastian. We want to talk about this side of Sebastian's case. Perfect. So that is that in a nutshell. Betty is back. I have had zero, and I mean zero, sleep. And I'm probably going to be bouncing off the walls. Why? Have you ever heard of a second wind? I think I'm on my fifth wind. We're gonna of course I lose my freaking camera. Of course I do. All right, let me fix my camera. I'll be right back. Give me a second. Are we good? All right, we're good. We got it, Cupcake. All right, so that's all for the good stuff going on, the little funny stuff, This is another thing I didn't really like. My parking for 3 hours in Chicago was as much as my long-term parking at the airport. Okay? I was at the airport for over 2 days. Okay? I was in the parking garage in Chicago for 3 hours. Okay? Paid the same amount of money. Chicago is not for Bullhorn Betty. We don't have to worry about me running to Chicago anytime soon. Will I go there again? Of course I gotta go there again, right? I gotta fly in there again a few more times. But that's okay. So at the end of the day, we know BHB is not running to Chicago. Okay, I'm not a Chicago girl. Okay, I'm a Florida girl. I'm gonna stay in my own stomping grounds. We'll leave that for another day. All right, guys, thanks for bearing with me. So as you guys know, I'm Bullhorn Betty, okay? And we cover true crime here on the Bullhorn Betty Show, and we've been covering this case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Let me change my back. Okay, good. And one more, because usually when I'm on here, I like to have Sebastian's face behind me when I'm talking about his particular case. Perfect. So if you don't know who this beautiful, handsome young man is, this is Sebastian Rogers. He disappeared on February. We're going to go with February 25th. Okay. We're going to go with February 25th because I truly believe he disappeared on February 25th. Now, we've discussed my theories ad nauseum on this channel. I haven't been able to go search for him because we have been hindered. We've had a county and this boy's mom and stepfather, the one that apparently beat the hell out of him, treated him like shit, tried to get rid of him, and at the end of the journey, he's gone and missing. So that's where we're at with them. We're going to get circled back to hashtag Chris Proudfoot and hashtag Katie Proudfoot. But we haven't really delved in. We've surface level covered the case of Texas Roadhouse, okay? We know that there's just something bizarre that happened at the Texas Roadhouse. Now, we spent over a year, or just right around a year, believing Sebastian had gone home, that we heard of the Texas Roadhouse footage, but we never saw it. How this whole situation transpired is at some point, Seth demanded from law enforcement a proof of life. At the beginning of this, we're looking for a missing child. At some point, we realized we're not really looking for a missing child. Something more happened, okay? At that point, at that juncture, in my opinion, I'm not putting words into Seth's mouth. He can speak for himself. But in my opinion, he kind of realized something was off. And so he demanded a proof of life. And so law enforcement, this is the one visit that we were kind of if you guys remember, we're going back to those days when we didn't know all the information we know now. Our jaw was a little open. Why? Because law enforcement only asked for Katie and Seth to go to law enforcement, the law enforcement office. Chris Proudfoot, #Chris Proudfoot, did not go during this event. And so Seth had seen the footage of his son walking out, that footage where they're leaving the restaurant and going to the car. And this was at the time, and we didn't realize because we never saw it, that there was some type of conversation at that car with an unknown person. We only knew that there was a proof of life and Sebastian was alive and healthy. And the only thing that at that time that Seth had said is that it appeared Sebastian's demeanor and or state of mind was not of what, I can't remember verbatim what he said. I say jovial, but he didn't use that word. That was my word. But he said he seemed happier. He seems like he would have been happier coming out of a restaurant. He's never seen him he didn't seem happy, I think is what he said. He's something to that effect. Again, don't know verbatim. I believe it may have been on Dolly's channel or Pascal's channel. I think those are the two people he was kind of going up there and talking to at that time. So I believe it would be on one of those two channels where he had those conversations, but I can't be 100. But long story short is at some point at night stepped in, and that was right after the FBI reward of $50,000, and that was presented to the world on August 26th. I knew that because we were having the, raising our voices for Sebastian Rogers, and that was where we were. So I was out in front of Sumner County, and I remember that because that was also when I was arrested for those hideous lies. And we are still fighting those. And to this day, thank God for the common sense citizens of Sumner County, because we could not trust the people that are being hired and voted in to do their job and do it right. So the citizens had to step up to the plate and take care of business in lieu of the people that should have known better. Period. So we're here, and now we're going to be diving into this proof of life video, and moreover, diving deeper into the green hoodie and yellow jacket individual, because there is a section of our crew that really does believe Sebastian never made it home. And we have not been able to really dive in. We've done surface level, but we've never really were able to dive in. So I'm bringing up the next guest. We're going to have Mama Rissa come up, and then Hindsight should be in right behind her. And we're just going to dive in a little deeper on this. These ladies have been working really hard. They've analyzed all of the footage. They've overanalyzed it. They're the ones that let us know. Let's be real here. We had a video produced by the unscrupulous PI, and then one of his searchers, the nose guy, decided to modify it, and we were running with that story. And these ladies here, were able to review that, take all the layers off, and realize that it was modified. So, they work very, very hard. And not only that, but they don't even monetize their channel. I hope one day they do something and give that money to maybe some nonprofits, because they're beautiful ladies that do a great job. Nonetheless, here's Mama Rissa and Hindsight. Good evening, ladies. I'm so excited that you guys are here. We'll start off with Mama Rissa and then go down to Hindsight. Mama Rissa, how are you doing this Saturday evening?
I'm doing great. You seem like you're doing better, though. You're bouncing off the walls, Betty.
I'm tired. I'm so tired. I think it's that, whenever you're so tired, like the oomph.
Yes.
I'm keeping the energy because I have a funny feeling as soon as we're done, I'm crashing. I didn't even put makeup on because I know I'm not washing it off.
Yeah, you'll be out like a lot.
I better be. I've hardly had any sleep, and it's frustrating.
Mama
So
Marissa,
anyway.
looking as lovely as usual, may I say?
Thank you.
Yes,
I
yes, yes.
try.
And how are you, Miss Hindsight?
I am doing very well, Betty. How are you?
I am doing awesome. So I don't, because of the situation where I know it's later on Saturday night, so I'm just going to start kind of asking both of you guys some questions, just because we have other people in the chat, and just familiarize themselves with you. So, Mama Rissa, I'll first ask you, what got you into Sebastian's case? What do you think is super important related to the case, and do you think it's going to be solved anytime soon?
Well, Betty, for one of the things that caught my eye about Sebastian's case, I do have a autistic nephew, and I was on TikTok, and I was scrolling and kept hearing about this child that was missing. And my heart, it just captured my heart at that time because of my little nephew. And I've been following it since not day one, but probably like day 5. I've been following the case. I have something to do with the case every day. Even if it's something small, I feel like I need to dedicate some part of my time to the case. And as far as, do I believe this case is going to be solved? I do. I have full faith in that. I will not give up on my faith for that, because I feel like there are so many things out there that have been answered that maybe we don't even realize. Like things that are like coming to light now, we had them a year ago, but we just didn't put pieces together. And I do believe it may take time, but I do believe this child will be found.
Very good. And what about you, Hindsight? Same 3 questions.
I absolutely, with all of my heart, my soul, my faith, believe that this child will be found. I stand with everything that Mom Marissa said. We came together on this case at different crossroads. Mom Marissa was in a chat on panel, and I was working it on my own. And people that were following my channel sent me messages and said, go in and listen to this woman. Something's happening in Oregon. And when I went in and I heard her speak, it was coinciding with research I was doing on my own, which then brought us together. And the things that we have, as she said, discovered together, both individually and collectively, bring me to very, very, very strong opinions, and yet beliefs that lead to this child being alive by the grace of God and will be found and brought home.
And when we first started getting into this case, and you saw Chris and Katie Proudfoot's initial interviews, did you immediately start getting red flags or suspicion? We'll go to Hindsight, then Mama Rissa on this question. Did you get the sense of there was more to this story at those onset, that the beginning, or is this something that has manifested through research?
My red flag immediately went up 36 hours into him being missing, when the media was told by Katie and Chris that they had no statement to make, that they weren't going to say anything. And as that progressed, slightly a little bit forward and the Amber Alert came out, that to me immediately triggered at that moment that the child was either abducted, kidnapped, or something of that nature. And then once the flashlight video came out around the 13th of April, that's when I knew that there was much, much more to be discovered.
And then you, Mama Marissa, and then I'm going to ask you guys some questions about, we're going to start kind of diving into the Texas Roadhouse, because I've got some questions about that. So what say you, Mama Marissa?
My red flags came up when, for one, that what she's talking about, where they decline to speak to the media. And I was thinking to myself, there's so many missing children out there that people would give anything to have their child, get this opportunity to broadcast, in front of the media, about their missing child. And I was thinking, who doesn't do that? And then as the stories, the interviews did start coming out, and as the stories changed, I'm like, something don't seem right here. And that was my very first inclination to, ears up, eyes open. I've got to watch these two.
Yeah. And then closer to like the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, I don't remember specifically, when at night finally got this Texas Roadhouse footage. We had heard about it. We knew that the Texas Roadhouse footage had existed because Seth had previously spoke on somebody's channel and said he saw at least a clip of Sebastian walking out. But it really wasn't until at night got their hands on the full file, and they didn't drop it all at once. They wanted to analyze the file thoroughly themselves, and then as they were dropping it, people were starting to pick up on certain things. I think one of the first things that was noticeable was Katie looking around. That really did just look odd. I don't think, and of course people, the hate channels were like, oh, she's probably looking for a waitress, looking for a bill, looking for this. We could clearly look at the table. The drinks were full. They had silverware. She had people walk by her. She never asked for help, never asked for supplies, but yet she was looking very peculiarly around, like she was looking for someone. That's what it looked like. She was looking for someone, or seeing if someone was there.
That's one of the first things that I noticed too. I was like, who is she looking for? Is someone else coming in to join them? And no one ever showed up, so I'm like, who is she looking for? And then as we were, privy to see the video in its entirety, and that was a blessing from God. We really, thank God for that, because we started watching that video. If I've not watched that video over 100 times, I've not watched it once. And, I would do it frame by frame, second by second. And I would make notations of little things that I thought, that I picked up on. And then as, hindsight was looking at the same things, we compared our notes and said, okay, here's where we got to dive in, because there's some really mysterious things going on here. And definitely, without a doubt, Green Hoodie was one of them.
Mm-hmm. Now, this was a little weird. I want to stop you there, because hindsight, we had a conversation about the Green Hoodie, because when it first came out, I didn't see what everybody else was seeing. And so I had to kind of slow it down. And then I think it was Nick that may have actually walked me through it. Was it you? Was it one of you two that walked me through it, or no? I think it might have been Nick.
No, it wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Okay, so it must have been Nick, and he had stated something like, she was having a conversation with someone there. It looked like something exchanged hands. And so I went and blew it up, and I keep forgetting that, because even though we're still looking at this green hoodie person, they said this person has nothing to do with it. But you two don't believe that. You believe that there was something going on with this green hoodie person. I can tell you, when I looked at the footage, it did appear that she knew who she was speaking with. Now, that's just my personal opinion. I don't know whether that's fact or not. But then comes this curious yellow jacket guy as well. So this is where I want you two ladies to kind of, break this down for me, because you guys know we've been honest and spoke about my opinion of him going home, and you guys have kind of an alter opinion of that, because you don't believe that was the case. You think something happened shortly after he was observed leaving the Texas Roadhouse. Something. So
Absolutely.
I want you guys to kind of walk me through the information. I know we did this once before, but I'm a little hard-headed sometimes.
Nope.
So let's do this again. So it's okay. I own it. I own it. I'm a stubborn woman. I'm stubborn as a mule sometimes. And, I have my thoughts on this. But let's explore this a little bit. I mean, we do have suspicious behavior. I can identify she didn't look right in that restaurant. I can identify that it appeared she was having a conversation with somebody she shouldn't have been having a conversation with. And it did appear that something had exchanged hands to me. But after that, I kind of, distanced myself from the aspect, because law enforcement said they had interviewed this person and nothing had anything to do with it. But, hindsight, no pun intended, is 2020. And we don't trust what law enforcement has been saying. And then at the end of the day, before I let you guys kind of take it over and explain it to me, they never interviewed this person until we all made an utter stink about it. So it tells me in part that they didn't do their job, because they should have seen this, analyzed it, identified those people, and interviewed those people. Those people were in direct contact with Katie, which had direct contact with Sebastian, and you could see them all in the videos. So why did they miss these people, these potential witnesses or suspects?
I think, if I may start, Mama Marissa, I think initially, and I say if, with all due respect to law enforcement, if they did in fact go get that footage immediately following his disappearance, and if they spent the time to really look at it and not just focus on, okay, well, Sebastian's coming out, he's getting in the car with Katie, they're leaving, and end it there in their mind, they would have really said, well, wait a minute, why is this person coming across, a median and standing in between her car? Why is this man, waiting at the door inside and then walking out with them, dressed so oddly, especially for a 60-degree night that evening? Why are the three of them walking out together? Why is the gentleman coming back that's an employee, who is a temporary employee, and the other gentleman who's oddly dressed, both turning around and looking because they apparently hear something happening at the car? The temporary employee was scheduled, in his mind to walk through that door and go back in. You can see him stop and halt from going in and turning around at the same time that yellow coat turns around, and they are both drawn to whatever is occurring at that vehicle. And Sebastian was already on the other side with his hand on the door, waiting for his mother to open the door.
And that's when you saw her kind of casually put her hand on the side of the car and continue a conversation with whoever this green hoodie that's irrelevant according to law enforcement. It didn't seem irrelevant to me, because I don't know of a stranger outside of my car that I'm going to just have a conversation with.
Absolutely not.
I'm
No,
gonna be like,
and
excuse me, move out of my way.
no, yellow coat waited 1 minute and 44 seconds inside, and the crime cast, the family, bless them, they went back to Texas Roadhouse recently and did really, really good footage inside. And Mama Rissa and I both were unaware that there was that very, very small adjacent waiting area to the waiting room itself to be seated. And he must have been, in our opinion, waiting in that small area for Katie to get up, because he left that frame 1 minute and 44 seconds until Katie got up, and then she and he and Sebastian all walked out together. And Green Hoodie had already been waiting by that vehicle for the 1 minute, 56 seconds for her to come out. So the timing was so matched up that I think that's really when Mama Rissa and I, immediately said, there is something so very non-serendipitous to this event. What is really going on?
Right. The timing here is everything, because as you see one enter, I mean, it's one thing right after another, and the timing matches up.
Synchronized, almost.
Right. And if you're just watching the video, just little clips of it here and there, you may not match all that up. But like I said, when you're set and you're watching frame by frame, and you see the timing on the outside as well as the inside, and you see one come in, the other one stops, the one comes out, the other one goes in, and it's like it was a pre-planned thing, in my opinion.
Have we located any other case that, and maybe it might be something that we might start diving into, something that has maybe some of the same elements in it, where there was this synchronization? Because I'm just curious if this is like a program, because we've heard about the programs that come in and snatch the kids up at night and take them off to, parents sign off on it. It's all above board. It's I don't know if it's lawful or legal, but I guess if a parent signs off on it, they can take your kids. So it's one of those things. I wonder, if we can attribute this to maybe one of those types of program and start looking at it from maybe that angle.
Well, it seemed as though everyone knew their part. One would come, like say the Green Hoodie. She came up and, well, first when Yellow Jacket entered the picture and the pink shirt lady come out, you see her speak into her, into her Apple Watch. He turns and he looks, he raises his hand up. He's hitting a button the way I feel. And you see him go in while he's in the bathroom. Green Hoodie approaches. She stands at the car the whole time. Yellow Jacket is standing at the door waiting on Katie. When Katie and Sebastian exit with him, then there you have Green Hoodie waiting. It seems as though that she's handed her something, and then she goes into the restaurant. But Yellow Coat, one of the main things that I cannot let go of Yellow Coat being involved is because I see pictures of Sebastian on his phone. And I know I hear a lot of people say, I just don't see what you're seeing. Boy, are they there.
Yeah, and that was me, because but I'm not good at reading like ultrasounds or X-rays or things like. Some people just see things a little bit different, or have an eye, like artists and stuff like that with the shading and stuff. they just have a different view based on their experience. But as you're explaining this to me, it seems like something like this might have more people. Maybe should we be looking at the footage a little closer, maybe a little further in the back of things that weren't right there in the center? Because it sounds like there's a possibility of we definitely saw something exchange at Katie's car. And I kept wondering because, a lot of people thought that the exchange, whatever was passed between them was, could have been substances. I think we've all heard that being, rumored. I wonder if it was instructions.
The other odd thing, if I may, Betty, when Katie and Sebastian first got to Texas Roadhouse and went inside, later on, Mom Marissa and I, after again reviewing the footage, the pink, we call her Pink Lady, the one who came out as
I
Yellow
think you've
Coat
pointed her out to me before. I think we've had a discussion. Yes. So let me write this down. Pink Lady. Okay. She's like with a pink sweatshirt, sweater thingy, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
She was coming out when Yellow Coat was entering the walkway of the restaurant. She and an elderly man were already in the restaurant, seated at the back right bar, closer to the restrooms, when Katie and Sebastian already went in. When the Pink Lady and the elderly man came out was at the same time that Yellow Coat was coming in. The elderly man went to the right, stood there for a moment, and continued to walk, because my assumption is they were parked over to if you're looking at Texas Roadhouse, they were parked on the left. So he went, if you're looking at the footage, to the right and continued on to wherever they were parked. She came over and made the pass, whatever indication they made with each other with Yellow Coat, in our belief, and went over to the employee door as Yellow Coat then entered the restaurant. By her standing there waiting, the odd thing that struck Mom Marissa and I was that an employee walked in right past her in the employee door, and she didn't ask him for anything. So if she were standing there per se waiting for something or had a question, let's just say, she didn't ask that employee a thing. That employee went in. She waited until the temporary employee, the gentleman in all the black, came up, and he kind of leaned behind her because she was facing him to the rear. And he kind of looked over her shoulder and maybe whispered, I'm here, or whatever the case may be, to get her attention. They had a quick conversation. He went in, she waited. He then opened the door, and you can't see what he handed her because there's writing on that door covering it. But you can almost, if you really slow it down, it looks like to my view, a square type silver object. And he handed her something. She took it and then proceeded on and walked to where the elder gentleman was parked waiting for her.
Yeah, and then wasn't there two younger guys that kind of walked in, looked around,
yes.
and
they were also parked at across where Green Hoodie was parked, but that is something that Mom Marissa and I and BMW, by the way, would have been on panel, but it's her son's birthday, sweet 16, so happy birthday to him.
I forgot to say hi to her.
But
I meant to. She was on my list. I put her on the thumbnail, just because I know you guys are kind of the three musket. I should that's probably three amigos, baby. Don't shoot me. I'm going back to
we call BMW. She is the tracker. She is the bloodhound of the group. So eagle eye.
I always enjoy you ladies. I enjoy watching you guys. I'm so happy that you guys got a channel and that you guys are working together.
Oh, thank you. And
I really do enjoy it, and it has so many different perspectives too. Because the good thing is, at least I think for us, even when we are working together and we have different perspectives, we
Yep.
can always agree to disagree and circle back around, because at the end of the day, we don't know really. I mean, we can think and we can research and everything, but we really don't know. We know something bad happened. We
Yeah,
kind of
big-
all feel that the parents are involved because of all these weird oddities things, but we're still
Yep.
searching for him, and that's the ultimate goal.
There, like I said last night in Lady Freedom's chat, there are only 3 things that I am 100% with Mama Marissa and BMW on. One is Sebastian did not walk out of that house. 2, Sebastian is not home with his father, Seth. And 3, this child will be found. Those are the only 3 things that I'm sure of.
Go ahead,
there you
Mama
have it,
Marissa.
folks.
Yeah, I want to hear also from you as well. Let me ask this, and I did say this, and then we kind of got. What if those whatever was handed off from Green Hoodie gal was instructions? You need to do this, and this. Before you get here, you need to make sure you have this, and this. I mean, I didn't see what it was, but it seemed like it was something that was handed off. We don't know
Well,
what.
and she was fidgeting with something when she entered Texas Roadhouse to go to the restroom, she was fidgeting with something. So, in my opinion, she was handed something. She could have got it out of her pocket, but when you see Katie, handing something to her, and then she's fidgeting with something, it's almost like she still had it in her hand.
Yeah,
is the way I see it.
And it's a shame, because my next question would be, have you shared this with law enforcement? But the thing is that law enforcement has had, just like many of other things, they've had it for a really long time, and have chosen not to give it its due for this case.
Yeah. Well, we did share some things with law enforcement, and I can tell you up front, I was not happy with a response that we got, because we had done all this research and had, all of these photos for them with a description. They took a look at one photo and realized that we were giving them something from Texas Roadhouse, and they said, "Oh, no, don't have anything to do with it." Well, in my opinion, why all the suspicious activity? You've never told us that Yellow Coat was clear. You've never told us that the temporary worker, where is he? He is only there for a very short time. You've never told us that you've cleared the pink shirt lady. You've never confirmed anything to us. So in my opinion, it's still out there. So I'm still going to research it. Yeah. And, when you research it, it's very disheartening when you take something to them. It's not like they said and heard you out. They take a glance and say, "Oh, that has nothing to do with it." Well, you've never cleared these people. So, maybe it does. Maybe I seen something you didn't.
But I'm well, here's one thought for this. Like, I feel that since they didn't preemptively reach out to the Green Hoodie gal during just the normal course of their investigation, because we all know from doing this what proper police protocol is, okay? Anybody that comes in contact with that child, period. Anybody that comes in contact with that child, Katie or Chris, during a time frame, anybody needs to be interviewed. And we found out that this green shirt hoodie person, we thought it was a guy at first, an older gentleman, comes to find out it's a female. And we realized law enforcement had this video in their possession, custody, and control since the beginning of this case, all the way back in February. And they still had not even interviewed really anybody that came in contact with him at the last known place where we have his last proof of life.
Right.
that I don't know what people call that, but to me, that is incompetence. To me.
I
Exactly.
agree. 100%.
Exactly. And that's why we haven't given up on it, because we know what we see there. And if they would listen and hear us out, hear the entire story, and then to explain to us, no, none of that happened. Well, I've got receipts that I can show you what I'm talking about. You know, why is this child's photo on Yellow Shirt's Yellow Shirt's phone?
Mm-hmm.
And I know what I see.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, the night that Sebastian goes missing, you've got all of this activity going on at the Texas Roadhouse. I mean, come on.
And I mean, we can't look past that. It really did look very suspicious about how Katie was trying to take these photos. We all saw that. I ran stories on it.
Absolutely.
Everybody ran stories about how sus it was that she's trying to sneak this picture and sneak this picture, from the table. That's what it looked like to me.
So weird.
And then we've never seen that. They never we've never seen those photos ever, and those were literally the last photos. What we saw is this one over here, where my hand is, right over here, and that one's the optimism shirt, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's not, but the optimism shirt was the one that was taken the day before, and that's the one that was sent out everywhere. But the last one with the last pair of clothes that he was ever saw in by a third party was in that photo, and we have never seen the last photo of Sebastian before he disappeared. Law enforcement hasn't released it. Chris and Katie haven't released it. And we don't even know, and you happen to pick it up, at least what you feel, on the yellow hoodie phone. And I remember because Hindsight sent it to me, and of course, I'm one of those people, like, I don't know what I'm looking at here, so don't don't kill the messenger. I'm sorry, I really don't like. But you know what? Hindsight did that to me before with the blob photo, and as soon as she drew on it, I'm like, I see it.
You're right. It's like once you see it, you can unsee it.
And unless it's like that when they show you a picture and say, can you see the lady with the blue dress or the yellow dress? What dress do you see? And it's all according to what your optic in your eye will pick up and view.
Mm-hmm.
So because we've looked at it so much, when I look at it, I clearly, can see what I'm looking at, but I don't expect everyone else to see what I'm looking at. And I do believe that when you match it up, and when Mama Marissa did the overlay, there is a behind Sebastian sitting in the restaurant. There's almost like I don't want to say a column, but like something behind him that is a definitive landmark that is the same landmark that lines up perfectly with that photo on that phone. And you really have to have the software to get it as non-pixelated as I can on my end to see it. But once you put it out on the internet and upload it, that all gets all jumbled. And unfortunately, we do the best we can do. But if I had to put money on it myself, I would say more yes than no. But again, nothing is 100% until we know. But I do know that when Katie got up from that table, right before she got up, she grabs the phone from the table that, she took the pictures on.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like attempted to put it in her back pocket. And whether she switched a phone or realized she didn't want to put it in her pocket or didn't have a back pocket, she then put it in her front right pocket. And when she stands up with Sebastian, you can see it sticking out of her pocket. Now, me personally, if I'm going to walk with a phone hanging out of my pocket, I would be afraid it's going to fall out. Unless, of course, in my own personal opinion, it was placed there so that it was ease of access once she got to that exit door. And when he walks out, you can see there is a phone in his left hand. It's very clear. And as he approaches the window of the pickup window, that same phone, it's rose gold. And in research, it was an iPhone 15, which that iPhone does not have to be registered to a regular proprietor network. You can purchase a prepaid phone card for that phone anonymously without having to use a name, an account, or anything to utilize that phone. So in that sense, that iPhone 15 would convert to a burner phone.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Mama Rissa, why do you think, and I'm going to ask this to you, hindsight, as well. So, why do you think LE isn't focusing on this aspect of the Texas Roadhouse? Because I feel like they should have at least, like the servers, the cooks, the hosts, anybody that was around. I feel like law enforcement should have said, "Hey, did you hear anything? Was anything suspicious? Like why is this like taboo? Why are they anything to do with the Texas Roadhouse?" It doesn't sound like they've cleared anybody in this case. They have Seth's. They have his minute by minute steps on camera that they viewed, and they still haven't even cleared him. I mean, so what say you? I'll just throw it to you guys. You tell me what your opinion is.
To be honest, and I'm just going to be as honest as I can, I believe that they took a lot of Katie's word on what happened there. When they asked her about Green Hoodie, she's like, "Oh, I didn't know that person, and they were just, walking by." But I really believe that they dropped the ball. They, along with, other things in the case that we know for sure. Either they dropped the ball or they know more than they're letting on. And I don't know if that's the case.
I used to think that was the case because I had, I didn't think this was a, corrupt place. And I absolutely believe that now. But I just keep wondering, and it comes back to what you just said, listening and believing Katie's story and whether they have more information. I kept saying that I thought they had a lot more information than they do, but I also expected them to acknowledge and respect that this is a high profile case, which they have not. Right. Whenever you look at this, every time I turn around, I keep seeing the Sumner County Sheriff, Eric Craddock, fail this child. Each and every turn, fails this child, fails this child, fails this child. And then when you work this hard, now granted, even if it doesn't pan out, it's still something that needs to be looked at because let's face it, we all saw something that did not look right in that whole production somewhere. If right. It wasn't for suspicious looking, it might have been the conversation with this green hoodie person out at the car, or the yellow hoodie, or the the sweater. Somebody believes something is off there. Even Jennifer Coffindaffer, an FBI training agent.
There's just too many coincidences that are happening at the Texas Roadhouse for me to write it off without checking it off 100%. Because I just can't let it go. Because it's a gut feeling that I know what I see, and I know how much research we've done with it, and we've kind of dove in it a little further, than we had 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, but I always like to be 100% before I come and present, because I don't want to have people to run to other chats and say, Mama Rissa said this, when I'm like, no, hang on. I didn't say 100%. you know, we do theorize, and I always make sure, you know, that I let them know that's a theory. There's some things that are facts that I find, some things are theory. And so I just really think they dropped the ball. I mean, to me, the Texas Roadhouse is majorly important.
And
I think so too. I think so too. Go ahead, hindsight.
If they wanted to resolve the whole question about Texas Roadhouse, it's basically one easy thing. Katie made it very clear on that phone call that was leaked out of her talking to the prior PI that FBI has cleared up that footage, and it is Sebastian. You can see him running, you can see his mannerisms. It is him taking out the trash. Well, if that be the case, then present that video so
Show
that
it.
the public can see it. And this way we know up until 7:15 that evening, Sebastian was home, went home, and then at that point, Texas Roadhouse kind of becomes a background. And then we move on to focusing what really happened with the 3 a.m. lights and car.
Right. Because there's no real reason for law enforcement to stay silent this long.
Nope.
I mean, the only reason why they would be staying silent this long is to calm the case down so they don't have to do anything with it. They want it to go away. They don't want to solve it. I don't believe Sumner County. I want to make sure that I'm clear, and I have to put this caveat on everything. When I talk on my show, I'm talking about top brass. These are the people that make decisions for everybody under them. I don't want anybody thinking that I'm being critical of a beat cop out there putting his life in jeopardy to make sure you're safe on the streets. There's different cops out there. There's different, at the end of the day, there's a chain of command. And I'm talking about the people that give the orders to the people. Because at the end of the day, the deputies under the order givers, they don't have a choice. They follow orders and they get fired. That's how it works in law enforcement. So when we're referring to law enforcement and bad policing, it's the top brass that's giving the instruction, in my opinion.
And I give respect to law enforcement where respect is due. When they come and they show me, you know, that, you know, you see someone following up on a case and you see someone coming and doing our press conferences and clearing things up for the people. In my opinion, I've said this from the beginning, they are the ones that started the circus.
They are, and continue to perpetrate the circus.
Yes. And I don't know if they're sitting back and thinking that, you know, it's making them look good, because it's not. You know, like I'm the tough guy and I can call, you know, I can make the call here. Well, yes,
the federal government took care of that. I think they got a very, very public lesson in their behavior, and they still aren't cleaning it up. What they're ended up doing is all the swamp. It's just now retiring. It's at least it's opening it up for new people to come in that aren't so toxic.
And the other problem is they've waited so long now that where they had, you know, cooperative individuals, let's just say, with all due respect, that were willing to answer and do anything, as they claim to have said. And now it's to the point that maybe if they wanted answers, they would have to get a warrant in order to make those answers come. And it's a little bit
I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to say ding, 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 because I think that's more in line with what we're dealing with right here, is that they did not pull the trigger and do the stuff that's necessary at the beginning. And now they're going to have to go through, do it the tough way, the long way. They have to start presenting stuff. And if they didn't do their job, guess what? They don't have a whole lot to present to get those warrants or the probable cause necessary for those warrants.
And in my opinion, that is why they haven't turned it over to FBI, because they are going to spot all of these mistakes, you know. And at this point, I just wish they would realize this is a child missing. You know, take whatever criticism that FBI brings. You know, if they jump in and say, you should have did this and you should have did that, take it. Take it like a man. You know, if you're going to sit back and control everything that's going on in the case, and if you're taking it like a man, take it like a man, you know. This child is missing. We don't have time to mess around with the egos.
Right. Do we really want people in office, though, that can't take, like, this is not every county is going to have a major case like this going on. We don't expect law enforcement to know exactly what to do, but we expect them to get up to snuff very, very quickly. And this guy is, this sheriff is stuck on stupid. And I just, for the life of me, I just can't get past it. Like, everything in this case is not an integrity issue with this case. You can open your mouth, you can speak, you can give some peace of mind to your flippin' public. Peace of mind to the citizens that he represents that are terrified that somebody's out here snatching kids, because that's what Chris and Katie want them to believe.
Well, I mean, they put out an Amber Alert, so they see something that went wrong, you know?
That's true.
So,
and I truly believe that, you know, a lot of people have brought up the question, well, why can't they just pull traffic cam? Why can't they just see who went in and out of the neighborhood? Why can't they just look at, you know, X, Y, and Z? Because in our opinion, I truly believe that whatever vehicle was parked outside of that, you know, place on that spot on Cullen and Stafford, I believe that vehicle already had the tags removed. I believe that vehicle had their interior light turned off. I believe that vehicle was already set for any possible pickup of what it was, which is why they did not K-turn. They did not go down the block and turn around, which is why they backed out. It was all orchestrated perfectly for no one to figure out who they were.
Yeah. And I know that Chris with the mob crew has been doing a lot with that video. Go ahead.
And, you know, with people say, well, if you think that Sebastian didn't come home, then what's the 3 a.m. lights? Well, his clothes had to get back to the home somehow. Maybe his things that he would need, maybe she purchased, needs to get to him somehow. There is answers as to why that car could have been there. And until, you know, until that's off the table, and I know for sure that he went home, that's the way I'm going to look at it. But now that doesn't mean that once something is proven that I'm just going to sit here and go, well, I still think it's if someone proves it to me exactly what that car was there for, then, you know, I'm willing to go with that. And maybe he did make it home.
Right. I agree. I mean, Katie, let's just say that, you know, whatever items were needed for him for X amount of time, Katie wasn't going to put those, in my opinion, in a suitcase or a box or anything and bring it with her to Texas Roadhouse for an exchange at, allegedly someone saw them. Let's just say if it was at the parking lot, if it was a BP, wherever they may have done it or could have done it, allegedly, in my opinion. She wasn't going to put those items in the car with her because Sebastian was very, very intelligent. Don't you think he would have said, Mom, why are you taking this stuff with us? I mean, of course he would have. So it had to be done at a later time, once he was already on his way with whomever he was going with, wherever he was going. That's our opinion.
I mean, if we're going to speculate, there's all kinds of things we could speculate why the car was there. But until it is proven, until they bring out the video of him taking the trash out and prove to me that he came home, I'm going to have to, you know, go with.
Well, let's look at it like this. If Sumner County Sheriff is saying that the Texas Roadhouse is nothing, then why can't he answer questions on it?
Exactly. That's what I said. Anything leading up to Sebastian going missing, if none of it matters, why haven't you spoke on it? Why haven't you cleared up those questions that we have? you keep letting us speculate, but you never come out with any answers. I just
the
think it's
response
crazy.
was in the statement that they gave about Green Hoodie was that after a discussion with the individual, it was determined that Green Hoodie had nothing to do with Sebastian's disappearance. That does not say did not know anyone, does not say
Doesn't have any
was
evidence or information related to the
yeah.
case. There's nothing.
Right.
Nothing. It's very vague and very subjective.
Yeah,
And I don't want a discussion. I
if we
want an
take that in a
interrogation.
literal sense, that just says that Green Hoodie did not take Sebastian in a vehicle and drive away, or put Sebastian in their vehicle and drive away. That's all it says to me. And I'm being as respectful as I can about that.
Right.
I mean, if we want to do semantics, we can go very deep with semantics, because that, English was one of my majors. So we can go toe for toe with that, as Mom Marissa would say.
Yeah. Well, I just keep wondering, obviously I don't trust the investigation that the folks at Sumner County have done. And I think the whole public out here would have more trust in them if they would just gives the public a little peace of mind. If the Texas Roadhouse is out, then outline XYZ. They were there. We've spoken to 15 staff members, 2 owners, a few patrons, a green hoodie lady, and a yellow jacket. Everybody has been cleared. We have, if it's a nothing burger, it's a nothing burger. It has no integrity to the investigation of Sebastian Rogers. They can open their mouth. What they're trying to do is they're trying to half-ass it, in my opinion. They're trying to throw out a statement that can't be questioned. Right? They're giving a printed statement instead of a press conference that Sebastian deserves.
I agree, Betty.
Well,
100%.
And there is people that 100% should have been questioned about Texas Roadhouse. They were not, because I have heard them make a statement and that they were not questioned. And I'm like, if you didn't question this particular person, then you have botched the Texas Roadhouse part. Because the person I'm talking about, I'm sorry, it's a source. I can't say anything.
Right.
But if they were not spoken to about this case, they 100% should have been the top person that was spoken to. And I know for a fact that they weren't. So I just can't believe anything they say when I see all of the other things that they've let go.
My biggest problem out of this whole thing, which is what, is allowing me to pay attention to the Texas Roadhouse, because I don't trust the investigation, but it's the whole forensics. Why can't they answer whether forensics were done in the house or not? Because we know for a fact that the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has a directive that requires them to turn, this is the gold standard, to turn the last known place, the house and or bedroom of that child, into a crime scene. It's much different searching a room versus turning that bedroom into a crime scene and having forensic units in there to determine what happened. And I don't believe that was ever truly done. Just my opinion. And they won't give us an answer one way or another. And the last time I checked, every single person that is investigating this case works for the people. Now, I'm not asking for integrity stuff, but this is a national and public interest case, and this law enforcement is failing this community.
And I've heard people say, oh, yes, they have. Well, just because, in my opinion, that Chris Proudfoot says they have, that does not mean I'm going to believe that they have. I don't believe anything he says. So
I
Sorry,
myself agree
just my
with you,
opinion.
Marissa. I agree.
I just have to say that out loud, and I'm sure everybody knows my opinion on that. But
I think we all agree with your opinion on that. I'm not saying nothing.
yeah. I mean, I don't care. I've not done nothing to the man. I'm just trying to find his child, or
That's
his
the worst part
stepchild.
about it, though. They're not looking. They've never done anything. They don't seem sad. They don't seem upset. They don't seem urgent. They don't seem concerned. They're ready to move on with their flipping life. And the rest of the world is looking at them like, how the hell can you do this? Your son is missing. He looked like a bright and fun young man. How can you not
Exactly.
be upset? That's where
I
my
mean,
is from.
how can Sebastian mean so much to me? And me spend day in and day out searching for the child I've never met.
Mm-hmm.
But the own mother can't search. And people says, well, you don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. If somebody was accusing me of all the things that they're being accused of, I believe I would finally make something known to people.
But does that really make sense, Mama Marissa, that they're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff to find their child behind the scenes? I mean, when you have a missing child, the idea is to make it as public as possible.
And look at all the opportunities they've had.
Yes.
The internet is free.
Case,
the internet is free. Every one of them and their families have Facebook. They have access to other social media platforms that are free.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't everyone once a day at minimum posting this child's flyer?
Yeah.
Why?
I've even gotten away from it, and I think it's just it's no other thing than just reluctance on getting back. Maybe I had a little too much freedom of non-crazy for a little too long. I don't know. I haven't had a circus in my backyard in a little bit,
We're going to cast out and reel you back in, though.
I know. That's one of the reasons why we're doing this, and we're trying to, promote maybe another gathering of voices in Sumner County. We've got an idea for the governor's mansion, but there's just a lot of nuances that we need to work out before we even get the committee.
Mm-hmm.
And I find out, and so those things have to be resolved before we can even make the committee. Because if those things aren't resolved and we can't fix A, we ain't getting to B. So
right.
But let me just ask some questions here. Let me see a question, and then I've got I want to make a statement. So cash, and I know this is not something that we've discussed on this particular live. We're talking kind of about the Texas Roadhouse, but I did read this and it popped up, and I did want to ask you your opinion. Did they interview any of the construction workers? I'm unsure. I thought that they may have, but when I went back and started looking at some of the interviews, I don't recall. Like, they didn't even shut the job site down, if I recall correctly.
In all of my research, I have not seen that they interviewed. I mean, if they did, they didn't make it known. And just from my research, what I've done.
Yeah, because there's heavy equipment out there. We don't know if keys were left in it. We would assume that nobody would leave keys in their equipment, but you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody that's from a construction site, there may be like a secret thing where, most people with heavy equipment hide their keys here, or, something like that.
Yeah.
And what if something was moved? What if they left something in one spot and it was moved the next day? If they didn't speak to them, how would they know?
And I'm just one detective on this case is not going to get it.
No.
They need more eyes, fresh eyes on this case.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't feel like one detective is going to get it done. It's too complicated.
Let me ask this, and this just popped into my brain, and I don't know why it did. And this is kind of for hindsight. I know that this is one of your theories, and you guys want to get from here so we can get past it. And they've never satisfied this worry box, because there's people that clearly have not been interviewed. But we've seen those videos, the lights videos. it does appear that a blob is carrying a blob. Now, that would be another theory, but if we were to apply that blob to this theory of, the like it being this kind of crew that helped Katie and Chris rehome Sebastian, I guess is the nice way of putting this. So how would that blob video fit into this particular story?
And I'm glad you asked that, Betty, because we actually revisited that on one of our lives as well. Because what you and I had talked about way back when we discovered that in the 3 a.m. lights, Mom, Marissa, myself, and BMW still stand behind that. That is what we, in our opinion, have rendered to be true. The only difference was that we took that image and we moved on to think, well, after we saw Sebastian standing next to Katie in Texas Roadhouse, and we were actually able to see his height, and we were actually able to see where that would fall over Chris's or any man or any individual's shoulders. The feet where we would think would fall on that image would be that of a 7 or 8-year-old child, not someone who is 5'5".
Gotcha.
So we still believe that blob be true. However, I'm going back to your theory of the bag, the military bag, and possibly that it was the military bag that was filled with items for Sebastian, and what was hanging down on that right-hand side was more of like a strap or a string or something from the bag, and the bag itself was over the back of the individual shoulders, especially since when Mob Crew looked deeper and saw that, and Bobby also agreed, that the person, you could see them basically hop over the ditch that was there. That made it appear even more so that it was a bag filled with items rather than a human. So I still stand by that video.
Right. Well, there's definitely something there because too many people have enhanced that and seen something. So it just happened to pop in my head, and I don't know why, but it did, and I'm like, wait a minute, this. So I figured I'd ask that.
Yeah, the feet don't match up to a person of that height.
Gotcha. So last, and I want to ask some questions, and I'm going to go through here. If you guys have some questions in chat, now would be the time to start dropping them while we've got these ladies up here. Thank you, Mama Marissa and Hindsight. So here's a question here, and it says, first sheriff did at least search the landfill, but nothing since he passed. That reminds me, nothing has really been done since Sonny has passed. Nothing.
Think about that. That goes to tell you something right there.
Yeah, and there's another part to it here. Let me pull it up here so you guys can see it. And it said, did KP stop at a gas station after the Texas Roadhouse? 0 updates from sheriffs is red flags. I think so too. But do we know if she made any stops, or is there any rumors of potential stops?
At night had put out, I believe it was December the 4th, that they were done with the investigation, of Sebastian going home, that they did feel that he did not go home from Texas Roadhouse. They also had made a statement that someone had seen them at a BP gas station on Shackle Island Road, and that a dark colored Toyota Corolla, I believe that was it, don't quote me on that, had followed them out of the Texas Roadhouse parking lot. Now, if that was ever founded to be factual or not, if the person ever came forth from BP, if it was looked into, if Ellie ever went to BP to acquire the footage from the gas station is still unknown. Hopefully it's not written over if they go now or even tried to go now. But so far we've determined nothing more on that.
Gotcha.
But now there was an eyewitness that gave an account after Dog's team asked, does anyone remember anything? There was someone that came out on Facebook, I think it was, and made a statement that,
it was
you
on
know,
the prayer
they
board for Sebastian.
Right.
Do you guys remember another tip that I don't think law enforcement looked into or even checked out? Was there's a speedway in Jackson, and there's a back way to kind of get from Hendersonville to Horn Lake, Mississippi, or whatever, and you can kind of bypass some things by going through this Jackson area, and there's like this speedway there. And somebody had said that they saw a dark colored truck with a child sitting in the front seat asleep, and they believed it was Chris Proudfoot driving that vehicle, and that was really early on in the case.
Yep.
And I have never heard law enforcement ever follow up on that tip or go acquire that footage from that speedway. Have you?
I've heard 2 stories on it. Mama Marissa, do you want to elaborate or?
No, you go ahead, honey.
The first story I heard is that Ellie had gone there and the footage was written over. And the second story was Ellie went there and it was nothing to see.
But now
so
they did
to
not
me,
make
that sounds like both
statement.
of those might have been rumors, because I heard that nobody followed up on it, that it was somebody that went there personally, not law enforcement, and then they heard that they weren't able to get it. And I don't know if that was when they said that it had already been written over or whatnot.
No official statement as far as that I know.
There's been no official statement on this case at all. So there's no official statement. 4/2/2024 does not constitute an official statement in this case. I'm sorry. That was the official statement on 4/2, but it's been an entire year. No results. It doesn't even appear that they're even. This is what makes me more angry with this case. Like I can deal with law enforcement, being rude to the public, not giving a crap, which is basically what Eric Craddock said. He doesn't care about his public. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to be bothered. But if they're going to keep their mouth shut, at least being active. If you're going to be keeping your mouth shut, just like the FBI, when they kick in a freaking door, they will not tell law enforcement what they're doing. They go in there, kick in the front door. They say, we don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? FBI search raid? Where is that? No, they basically say no comment, because they don't tell you what they're doing, but you still see the activity. You still see the FBI agents there kicking in the door and processing a home. Here, we're past the year mark. We're getting pretty stinking close to the 2-year mark, where it's going to be here before we know it. We've got no results. We've got no statements from law enforcement. And it appears we're getting absolutely nowhere in this case.
No one sees them doing anything.
And no searches. That's it.
No.
The searches. No searches from almost 2 years, 18 months. Not quite there yet, but you guys get my gist.
Oh yeah.
Is where's the searches? Where's the evidence that was collecting, turning into opinions of areas to search for this child, or locations to search, or churches to search, or schools to search, or underground programs for autistic children? How do we know this child's not being abused? We just watched that disgusting crap out of, what was it, Arkansas, or they got the 7th people. It's a whole 8 child SAST racket.
Yes.
How do we know he's not in that? You know?
Well, Seth made the comment that when they found the ones in Florida, I think it was Florida or Alabama one. I can't remember which ones, but
I think it
anyway.
was the Florida ones. We had a lot in
Yeah.
Florida.
He made the comment that he called and said, "Hey, is my son in that?" And they said, "You need to call your local law enforcement." And he was like, "Man, I just wanted to know if my son was in it, and you didn't hear anything." So I just think it's just, I don't want to say out loud.
Yeah, I know, I get it. And here's the last question, ladies, and then we'll kind of wrap it up here a little bit. Betty, whatever happened with KP's friend Lori? You know the story KP and CP are telling us, full of holes. Where's Sebastian? It's Sebastian's pick on YCG. I don't know what that means. Do you guys get that?
What was?
I don't know what that.
Let me put it back up here. Here it is. It says, Betty, whatever happened with KP's friend Lori? You know, the story KP and CP are telling us is full of holes. Where's Sebastian? It's Sebastian's pick on YCG. I don't know what that is, but maybe, do you guys recall? Because I know you guys have done a lot of research on here. The friend Lori that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What is YCE? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't know what YCE is, but we could probably answer the Lori question.
Yeah, just go ahead and answer the Lori one.
I don't know. I know of her, but other than that,
As far as, and again, allegedly, let me state this very clear, allegedly, and in my opinion, and according to Seth when he did do a live, she was present at the home at one point in time. I believe it was the second day. Could have been the first, but I believe it was the second day, as we've determined. But Seth, if I'm incorrect, please address that. And I know that, she has been in the vicinity various times. I do believe, according to other sources, that she was up here with her at a Mexican restaurant last June. They do, stay in touch. They are friends, and rightfully so. But I cannot elaborate on whether or not, she had anything to do with anything because, again, we're not Katie. We're not Lori. We're not them. We know they are friends. That's about as far as that will go, in my assumption.
Hold on just a second. Let me ask you guys this. I hear, and this is weird if true. Trent says yellow coat guy he was with a girly pink cell phone.
Yes, that was the rose gold cell phone that he walked out of the Texas Roadhouse with, that we believe, in our opinion, Katie gave him, which was the same phone that she had at the table taking pictures of Sebastian.
And that's why they were on his phone, is because she handed the phone off. It was the phone.
Yes.
Correct.
Because we could see the color of her phone. And when we're looking at yellow coat guy, he's got that, what is the name of it? It's like the rose gold.
Yeah.
It's just like the one she had at the table. So that's why we're thinking that she may have handed that phone off to him.
Because she had I remember people were alleging or, rumoring that she had a second possible phone on her at the table at one time. But
originally, originally we thought that she was texting, or may have allegedly been texting, those photos to someone, and that's how he got them outside. But in further investigation with the, looking frame by frame and timeline and where the phone was situated on her body as she was leaving, in that little waiting area, and him happened to have it in his hand when he walked out, it was just I mean, in our opinion, a perfect match.
Yeah.
And see, she's sitting there at the table and she's scrolling through photos of Sebastian because you can see them. Well, on the outside, when we see him scrolling through, I have picked out 3 photos. The one at the table that she took. I have seen the one where he's got the backpack standing in the living room, and I have seen the green tea photo. The green tea photo, I did an overlay. You can see the china cabinet behind them. You can make out the green cup that he's got in his hand.
I remember you pointed that out to me. I saw that.
Yes.
One of you did. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember having a conversation a few months
That's
ago.
3 pictures that I have pulled off that phone and in my opinion, that is on that phone.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to thank you ladies for taking the time to explain this. I know you've been explaining it, but you guys know how I am. I'm stubborn as a mule, and sometimes but I do want to look at other aspects of this case because I feel like we're getting nowhere going down the road I'm going down because I can't search. I can't do anything.
Well, and we don't try to push our opinion off on people.
Right.
We just try to show you what we see, and then you make up your own mind.
Right. Sorry, my camera just went out again.
And Betty, thank you for even, inviting us, because you know how, we feel about you and your channel. You're always so supportive, and we have the utmost respect for you and stand by you.
There I am. Right. My camera keeps going out on me, and I don't know why, but it does. It's not even working at this point. So I don't know what I'm doing over here. But I'm so thankful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Those were very kind words. I appreciate it.
Yes, and I'm very, very grateful and thankful that we had someone that even cared for our opinion. I know our channel's just getting started, and it's not that we haven't been doing things for Sebastian. It's just we just started. We prayed about it, and it took us a while until we said, okay, now's the time. Now's the time to do the show.
Yeah. And I think it's great, and people are enjoying it, and people are paying attention, and I think it's good, because at the end of the day, we're all here for the same reason, trying to find out the truth, trying to find out what happened to whatever victim we're covering. This happens to be Sebastian Rogers, and thank God we have great people that put in the work, put in the effort, try to find the answers, because look at the mom and the stepfather. We can't leave them to fight for this child. Why? Because they haven't. They've had every opportunity to stand up here and really give Sebastian a fair shake, and they go and kowtow. They go hide with their tail between their legs, leaving Seth to do it all by himself. And that poor man is burnt out. He's burned his candle at both ends. He's tired. He's exhausted. He just wants to know where his son is. He wants his son. Chris and Katie don't have to ever take care of this child ever again. He never has to be there. They never have to worry about him. Nothing.
Yep.
Seth will take care of it all.
We're relentless for Seth, relentless for Sebastian, and we are going to continue until we do whatever we can to do our part.
Yeah.
And one last
question.
This
is the way. Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mama Rissy. You go ahead and have your word, and then I'll ask you one last question. Go ahead.
I said, and this is, when we seen the exhaustion on his face, the last time we seen him before we decided to do the show, I said, hindsight, it's time. This man needs help. And this is a way that, we can't get out and search, but this is a way that we can bring attention to the case. This is the way that we can show him support, to uplift him, to give him strength to maybe keep going.
Yeah. I agree. Now, the question, I guess I removed it. We've been hearing rumors that it's possible that the glasses that were found, now remember those cylinder water treatment type circles. We know that our mediums and psychic, genre, they've had a lot to say about those things. And then to come find out that the glasses were found not too far from them near the Bowersox home. And here recently, I heard that it's possible that those glasses may not even have been taken down to see what the prescription is in them. Do you guys have any information on that?
Well,
I do not.
The last that I heard was Seth way back when they were found, that he had made a statement on a panel that he was on that Ellie was taking them, and his thought was that they were most likely going to check the prescription and do whatever, they could DNA wise to figure out if it was, his or not. Then I heard that they were reading glasses. They were not, technically prescription lenses.
Okay, gotcha.
But I have not, heard anything since then.
Nothing that we can confirm that, of any worth.
Sorry, I'm still trying to get my camera to work. It's just not going to work for me. Sorry, there. I'm just going to have to go this way. There we are. Here. Go ahead, Mama Marissa. I didn't mean to interrupt you again.
No, that's fine. I said not that we can speak on comfortably. I mean, we don't have,
it's all
we don't have any information on that. So
okay, so we're just kind of still with the rumors. Whatever we hear is whatever we hear. They're just rumors. Nothing has been forthcoming. I knew that Seth. I remember Seth saying he saw him, and I remember him saying I told him to bag and tag him. And then we're hearing that the DNA was not done on the glasses. And then after I heard that the DNA was not done on the glasses, I further heard that it's possible that they never even took them down to find out what the prescription was in them. So, you know how rumors are. You guys have to deal with them like I have to deal with them. You got to fact find them because you don't know which ones are true and which ones are not. But there are some rumors that pan out, that truly pan out.
Yeah. That's why you can't put nothing away because you don't know. Just like I said earlier, something that we heard last year didn't have any value to us, but now it does, so we got books of, we got our notes, and we've got, Lord, my phone is loaded down with photos and all this information. And you never know when you're going to need it.
Yeah, I know. I'm constantly going back through his file because I have so much stuff on my phone. It was gunking up my phone, so I had to put it to iCloud, and then my iCloud was getting full, so I actually had to dump it on the external drive. So now I've got files of Sebastian's on my phone, iCloud, and the hard drive.
Yeah.
But ladies, you guys were beautiful. Thank you for spending 2 hours with me. God bless you for just having the patience and time to teach, because my audience doesn't always get to see all this stuff. And when I'm not talking about it, there's still other options out there of what happened to Sebastian. And we still need to continue to look for him in a multitude of ways, in a place that he could be shipped off to. That's just like an underground thing for families. We know that there's got to be things like that. We know there has to be. Common sense tells us there's something. But we know that something happened to him. And we kind of feel that the mom and the stepdad are behind whatever it is. Even this theory has Katie involvement in it. If she's got handing phones off to people, she's clearly involved in whatever it is. So I appreciate you guys being able to explain this other side. It's very interesting, and it's something we don't really discuss too much, and should, because it is party to the case. And we know that law enforcement didn't explore it as thoroughly as they should. Otherwise, Green Hoodie would have been interviewed a long time ago before this video came out.
Yeah. Never too late. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Never too late.
Well, thank you guys so very much. You are free to go. Thank you. And you guys were fabulous.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
having
coming.
Us. God bless. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And tune in to see us. I
Thank
think
you.
we're going to be on
Bye-bye.
Tuesday night this week.
Yes, and let me go. Hold on, don't go nowhere.
Yeah, we're doing a query question and answer session, kind of like this.
Mm-hmm.
That you could submit your questions on I put up a post on YouTube. You can just put your question there, and we're grabbing them and putting them into the query.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to read them and go through them and answer. So we'd love to have you, Betty.
Awesome, sawsums. Yes, give me the date and time, and I will make sure I am.
It's Tuesday, this Tuesday, the 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Tuesday, the 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay.
And I know our BMW's in the chat, and she's probably
but I know the real me too, and Sonia is. Guys, can you put that in your calendar for me? Because you guys know how bad I am. So Monday, you guys can remind me. We got to be there Tuesday. I'm horrible. Usually it's fine, but I know the 29th I've got a county meeting, so if I'm not reminded, I will get rolling with my day and just lose my mind. So it happens. But yes, Tuesday at 8 o'clock, I'm going to be absolutely there. And actually, when you send me the link, that'll trigger me to remind me. So that'll work. That'll work for me.
Well,
Perfect.
thank you so much, Betty.
Guys, I'm so happy you
Thank
got to
you.
spend some time together.
Thank you, everybody. It was our pleasure. God bless.
Have a great day. We'll see you Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, we're going to drop them, and then we're going to go ahead and just close out. Sorry, my face got really big. It's because my camera went out, and I can't get it re-engaged. I don't know what's wrong with my camera. See, that's what it does. So I either have to do this, or I got to go back to my old camera. So we're back to the crappy. Oops. Oh, I got to turn the camera back on. There we go. So we're back kind of to the hazy, crappy camera that comes with the Apple, the $2,500 Apple computer. Can't put a good camera on this. They can give you a great camera on the iPhone, but not on the computer. Okay, I'm done bitching. It was a great interview with these ladies. They've been working really hard. I want to pick their brain because this is an aspect that I'm not fluid in. It's an aspect that I'm not looking heavily in. And when I'm going to start exploring that, which we're now starting to explore that avenue, I need to go to the people that have the information. Mama Rissa and Hindsight are the ones that have been kicking butt and doing this. And their channel, their new channel, I can't find the link for some reason, which is driving me nuts. But their new channel is Voices for Truth, I believe is what it is. Voices for Truth. Let me see if I can find it. Did I say that right? Voices of Truth. Voices of Truth. Hold on, let me find. That's a song, I guess. I thought that was the name. Isn't that the name of your podcast? No, I guess it's not. They're probably going to kick my ass because we've been on their channel, but Voice of Truth. Okay, so it is Voice of Truth. Okay, I thought I was going crazy because I went and looked, and Hindsight had a video up, and the song up behind it was Voice of Truth. It's a song too, so I'm like, did I just? Okay. Anyways, we're good. You guys can laugh. We'll laugh together. All right, guys. Betty is Hindsight's channel. Okay. I'm sorry. You guys can kick my butt later. Okay, Voices of Truth. There we go. Lodi. Alicia's like, Lodi. There you go. Oh, you guys kill me. I'm sorry. I thought it was a special channel. I didn't know it was on Hindsight. I thought it was like your whole little thing. Don't mind me. At least I show up. I don't know where I'm at when I show up. I just show up. It's always a party. All right, guys, it has been real. It has been fun. But as you guys know, Bullhorn Betty has no sleep. I am getting delusional at this point. So I'm going to free you guys of the delusional Betty. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you, Mom Marissa and Hindsight and BMW, because I know it's you, all three of your work that was really showcased tonight. And thank you for doing such great work. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. And I promised you we would not leave without Delilah. Delilah. Come see the coffee club. Come here. Come to mommy. Come. Here she is. Say hi, coffee club. I'm your mascot. You just don't know it. Okay, don't pull the cords out of my ear. Let's just switch you around here. There you go. Now you're on this side of the cords. Say hi, everybody. I'm Delilah. If you've never seen me, I'm my mommy's precious baby angel. She's holding me a little weird. That's why I'm getting all bouncy. But there, she's got me now. Hi, guys. I'm here. Say hi, coffee club. I'm Delilah. I'm my mommy's best friend. I'm my mommy's gal pal. She's my best friend. And she picked me up today, and I didn't and wouldn't leave her side. Even when she went to go pee, I stand outside of her bathroom door and just whine for my mommy. This is my baby. She's a girl. She's a girl. She's a beautiful, bouncy baby girl. This is my baby. She is my fur kid. And she is treated like a child, okay? I will be honest with you. She is not treated like a dog. She's treated like a child. She is a naked child right now that doesn't even have her pajamas on, okay? We've been giving her a little bit of a break because she's been... All right, you can go now. Say bye-bye, coffee club. I want to go to bed with my mommy. I've been waiting to play with my mommy for 3 whole days. 3 whole days. All right, guys. We will be back with you guys tomorrow. Don't forget, church, first thing in the morning, 9:15, Countryside Christian Church. Be there, be square. And then we'll be here tomorrow afternoon, probably around 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon to kick off our Sunday show. And then that's where we'll be until Monday. And then Monday, 10 a.m., we'll see you right back here. All right, guys. See you tomorrow. Have a great Saturday evening. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our cases. And more importantly, let's bring Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers home and home today. God bless. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases. Sorry, the one last thing I forgot to do is I forgot to tell people gifted out Bullhorn Betty gifted memberships. I don't know how I missed them, but I wanted to say thank you to the people that gifted memberships. I am so sorry. I missed every last one of them. Cash, thank you for being the newest member of this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Sonia, Robin, and I believe there was a Jen. And SPED teacher gifted Bullhorn Betty memberships. If you have received your Bullhorn Betty memberships, please do not forget to tell those beautiful ladies thank you for the donation. Thank you for the gift. And welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straight jacket and your pad. Welcome aboard. Yes, we have buttons for just about everything. If you don't believe me, and we can never leave home without this one. Oh, I stole the batteries. What she said. All right, guys, that's it. You have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Yay! Okay, now we can go back out to the intro. Outro. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.